What's up, y'all? My name is JR, and for those of you who don't already know, I'm a huge movie and TV nerd. If you're new here, I appreciate you taking the time to check out my channel. I hope you'll consider sticking around and joining the film community I'm trying to build here on YouTube. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving my reaction and review of the science fiction action film Tron Ares. And just so you guys know, this video will contain mild spoilers, so if for some reason you hadn't gotten out to the theater to see this movie yet and you don't want to know anything that happens in it, you might want to exit this video now. And with that being said, no more wasting time. Let's get into it. Tron Ares is an American-made science fiction action film directed by Joachim Ronning from a screenplay from Jussi Wigatow, based on a story by David DiGiglio and Wigatow. And it's the third film in the Tron series and a sequel to Tron Legacy from 2010. And the film features an ensemble cast including Jared Leto, Greta Lee, Evan Peters, Jodie Turner-Smith, Hassan Minhaj, Arturo Castro, and Gillian Anderson, with Jeff Bridges reprising his role as Kevin Flynn from the previous films. Now, development of the sequel to Tron Legacy began on October of 2010 by franchise creator Steven Lisberger, and in March of 2017, Walt Disney Pictures shifted plans towards a soft reboot with Leto playing a new character. Garth Davis was set to direct in August of 2020 when Wigatow was working on the script, but stepped down in January of 2023. And Ronning replaced him a month later. Production was expected to begin in August of 2023, but was delayed by the 2023 Writers Guild of America and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Now, filming ultimately began in January of 2024 in Vancouver and wrapped in May. By August, industrial rock band 9 Inch Nails was announced to be composing the score. The band's members, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, served as executive producers on the film, alongside legacy director Joseph Kosinski. Now, Tron Ares premiered in Los Angeles on October 6th and was released in the United States by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures on October 10th. And so far, the film has received mixed reviews from critics. Now, at the time of the making of this video, the movie has a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 155 critic reviews, with its popcorn meter currently sitting at 85%, based on over 500 verified ratings. The film has a Metascore of 49 on Metacritic based on 42 critic reviews, with a user score of 5.2 based on 37 user ratings. And finally, the movie has a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb with almost 4,000 ratings. So, when I heard about this film, I'll admit to you guys that I didn't really think it necessary from a narrative perspective, even though I enjoyed Tron Legacy from 2010. I actually bought that on Blu-ray, if you can believe that, right? But when I considered the business of filmmaking and the fact that Tron Legacy made over $400 million at the box office back in 2010, I understood why Disney would take another crack at printing money with what they're calling a soft reboot. I don't call it that, I call it a sequel. That said, I went to the theater expecting a movie much like Tron Legacy, a movie I thought, again, like I said, was just fine. It wasn't anything super special, but it was a visual spectacle and a serviceable story, to be sure. And look, I'll just tell you guys, I just thought the movie was cool, right? I played the Tron video game. I thought the movie was cool, so I went and bought it on Blu-ray. Hey, look, it's fine. Now, after watching the movie, I thought the story was well conceived enough to serve the purpose of this particular release, with the plot centering on two rival tech corporations, Incom and Dillinger Systems, both racing to achieve what they're calling permanence, which is the ability to bring digital constructs into the real world on a permanent basis. The story deals with themes that revolve around the relationship between humanity and artificial intelligence, with a particular focus on the emergence of the sentience of AI and the consequences thereof, right? Other key themes, smaller sub-themes, include blurring the lines between the digital and real worlds, the dangers of unchecked technological ambition, and the exploration of identity as AI gains more human-like qualities and human characters grapple with their complicated past. And these themes are things that kind of interest me. You can always sign me up for anything that's talking about the future and AI and technology and stuff like that. I tell people, look, I'm one of the guys that liked Prometheus, not because I thought that the script was well done. There are lots of issues and problems that I had with the script, but I just thought Prometheus was just cool. So, I mean, I'll watch Prometheus once a year just because I just think it's a cool movie, and it don't get no deeper than that, right? And that's kind of how I feel about these Tron movies. I'll go ahead and tell you guys that I'll probably get this on Blu-ray as well. Again, like I said, just the cool factor. And the thing to remember here, from a narrative perspective, is that you're dealing with a lot of AI characters, which means that, I only think that there were two characters in this entire story with any kind of background that we might have needed to know in order to kind of make sense of their actions or care about what happened to them holistically, right? And that being Julian Dillinger and Eve, right? And I think that, and Eve more so than Julian, right? And I think that the writers did a halfway decent job of developing Eve's character, though here it's done mostly through very brief snapshots from Eve's past as Ares does recon on her in Act 1, and then later through dialogue as she explains her motivations to Ares in Act 2, right? And this does kind of go against a bit of the screenwriter axiom, show, don't tell. So many screenwriters will tell you, show, don't tell, right? But I think that, I've always been a believer in show and tell, because I think it's important to develop your characters in various ways throughout your story so as to avoid your storytelling becoming too stale, right? Especially in character-driven stories, which I'll admit this isn't, but still, I'm more of a character-driven writer, so that's ultimately my preference. And while we're speaking of the dialogue, I thought the dialogue was fine. There were nothing in the movie that I thought were particularly, groundbreaking, right? There were no what I like to call bars, right? But you don't need that for this kind of thing. This is more of an action-driven spectacle than anything else. And so, you're not really looking for anybody to win any Oscars here with the words that are coming out through dialogue. Now, I thought the plot was fine. And I thought the plot points moved along, just fine. Though this movie, I'll admit, did not go like I thought it would. A lot of times when I go to the movies, I'll sit down and go, well, what is the log line? And then I can almost tell you beat by beat what's going to happen. Here, something kind of happened. There was a twist towards the end of Act 1 where I was like, okay, they went a little bit in a different direction than I thought they were going to. And, again, like I said, it happens early in the film rather than late, like I was expecting. I don't want to spoil the movie, but there was something that I was expecting to happen, and it happened way sooner than I ever could have thought, which kind of shifted who the good guys were and who the bad guys were. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. But I did think it worked, especially given the actor that wound up being the story's de facto villain. I thought a very good job was done, both choosing who that character would be and by the person who played that character. I'm not going to spoil the movie in case you haven't gotten out to see it just yet. I was happy to see a Jeff Bridges cameo. That's a spoiler. I am going to go ahead and spoil because it's all over the internet that he's in the movie anyway, so don't blame me, right? And it's something that I definitely think that the film needed. And I was happy that there was also a reference to Sam Flynn and Cora, which is why I call this film definitely a sequel and not a soft reboot, because it clearly happened in the same universe as the previous film, with everything that happened in that movie committed to the history that the characters know here in this movie. I thought the visuals were really good. But I expected that they would be in a movie like this because that's truly where the strength of this story lies, right? There was a good bit of action as well. Another thing I thought this film really needed, though I liked the action more in the first movie, but this film had action and like I said, you kind of come to the theater expecting that, right? And lastly, I thought the runtime was good, right? I thought the film ran fast. getting to the point rather quickly and smoothly. It kind of got to the get down pretty quickly, and then once we kind of got there and you understood exactly what the story was going to be, I felt like it was smooth sailing after that. Now, overall, I'd give this film a 75% or a 7.5 out of 10 if you're thinking IMDb score, a C plus for a letter grade, right? All things considered, I thought the film was fine, right? But I don't think it was better than Tron Legacy, if I'm being honest. And if I had my guess, I would expect that the film will do similar numbers to its predecessor at the box office. But I think Sam Flynn was a better character with better ties to Jeff Bridges' character, of course, and a better arc than Eve Kim. And that's really what the main difference is here. That said, I believe that if you like Tron Legacy, then I think you'll like this film as well. And if you didn't, you won't like this film. It really is as simple as that, right? Though I say again, I believe that Tron Legacy to be the superior film, narratively speaking. But again, if you're looking for an action-driven movie with some cool special effects to fill out your weekend, I think this film will do everything that you want it to do just fine. But what do you guys think? Have you had a chance to see Tron Ares yet? If you have, what did you think about the character development in the film? Did you find it to be sufficient? Were you satisfied with the visuals presented in the film? How do you think the film compared to Tron Legacy? Let me know in the comments. And for those of you that might be new to the channel, be sure to like and share this video. If you really like the content, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. You can also now support the channel by leaving a super thanks. If you should be so inclined, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, feel free to subscribe to my new Shorts channel and my Reactions and Reviews channel for additional content. The links are in the description. In addition, be sure to go and check out themadScreenwriter.com for more television and film reviews and info on my upcoming film projects. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I got screenplays to write. And I'll catch y'all on the next video.